I ended up getting what I believe are the top 3 god rolls for Exalted Truth, well, 4 technically. So I want to talk about them, show them, and I really want to hear what you're liking with this hand cannon. I do believe that this one will stand the test of time, like similar to Palindrome, Igneous Hammer. It does so many things right, and the best part, it's a variety option. So even though it is top tier, if you like your Palindrome more, that's okay. If you never got a good Palindrome, this thing's great. Currently, the hand cannons can be used pretty well, but with all the healing, overshields, restoration, we have Woven Mail coming soon with Strand. A lot of players are just going Pulse, and going kind of safe, longer range is pretty much cemented and has been for a while across PvP, and I'll talk about that later. With Exalted Truth, it is top shelf, and I wanted to make this video for a couple reasons, because who knows, like in Lightfall, we have an entire year of seasons coming. Who knows if an equal is going to come up? It took this long for Palindrome to have an equal in that same energy spot. They're both void, and then Ostringer's in that other spot. This thing has some of the best things to offer for a hand cannon. Not only that, very unique ways to play with it. And we're at a point in this game where some of these things are just flat out hard to top, like can't be topped. Because ultimately, if something in Destiny is good, like base stat-wise, perk combo-wise, might just fall a tad short, it still warrants usage. Numerous reasons for that. Maybe you never got the god roll for this, or Palindrome, or Ostringer, or whatever it is. Maybe you're a newer player. There's a ton of reasons, but this thing can min-max in some pretty heavy stats. My main role, my original role I used in the review, it is stacked. I couldn't ask for anything more. A perfect role to me. Small bore, accurized, range masterwork, rangefinder, eye of the storm, repulsor brace. 87 range, and small bore could be changed for hammer or full bore. I value small bore, a little bit more stability, getting it to 68. It is a beast. Everything I could have asked for. But in that video, I talked about other roles. I got those, so we can talk about them, compare it to the original. Also keep some things in mind for the roles that you have. The main thing that I found, and also understand here, I do like hand cannons. I use them a ton. I love them, but I don't only use them. I use a lot of weapons in the game because the videos I'm reviewing weapons. A lot of work and time goes into those, like a glaive or a scout. It's not like 2 or 3 games and throw up a video. It's like 30, 40, sometimes over 50 games. Getting through gameplay, trying different roles, SMGs, whatever it is, all of it. But coming back to a hand cannon, I had some reoccurring issues, and I'll get to those at the end of the video. But the first role I want to talk about is Perfect Float Frenzy, special combination on a very special weapon. Perfect Float's a good perk. Being in combat for a moderate time increases airborne effectiveness and reduces flinch, so the timer is 6 seconds to proc. Every 3 seconds, you need to take or deal damage. And once it's up, it's just up indefinitely. It's going to deactivate once you have it dealt or received damage in 3 seconds. While it's up, you get plus 30 AE and around half what I believe of what no distraction is as far as flinch. And flinch is multiplicative. You take into account Perfect Float, unflinching on the chest, Suros synergy on the hand cannon itself. It's doing really, really well in flinch mitigation. But just by playing the game, you're getting pretty good bonuses. Because on the other side is Frenzy. Be in combat for 12 seconds, so double the time of Perfect Float. For this one, every 5 seconds, you need to deal or receive damage. You get it up. Once 12 seconds hits, plus 50 handling, plus 50 reload, 15% more damage, enough to land body shots with your TTK. So it is snappy, heavy flinch mitigation, especially when you get Suros synergy going, all for just playing the game. It's quite a rare combination currently. It's on one of the best pound-for-pound weapons in the game, Exalted Truth, and it is one of the best in the game. With so many 150s and 140s that have come out over the years, this one's in the top 3. It really is. I'm using Gemini Gesture in a lot of this gameplay. You don't have to, but when you do tag someone through the wall, it counts as damage. Therefore, it counts as keeping your timer up, getting to Perfect Float, getting to Frenzy. Otherwise, you can just be in combat. Just stay busy. Very unique, dealing more damage, taking flinch a lot better AE. It's a great role. I don't really believe that it is better or worse than what's been talked about or will be talked about because everyone's different. Value to the player is very important. This is a good one, and if you run it, you do you. The other one, and one that I really wanted, aside from Perfect Float, Frenzy, Rangefinder, Eye of the Storm. Small section here for Falcon with Repulsor Brace. That's just a great combination. I would put that probably as the top 4 roles. But the last one is Rangefinder Encore. And this is where this gets kind of crazy. My roll is 73 range. I really wish that I hit 80 because it can min-max. It's something that just keeps getting better and better the more that you keep winning duels. And Encore's changed. Encore is worth a spot on your weapon. Any weapon. The SMG, Pulse, hand cannon, whatever it is. Stacks of ×4. Body shot final blows are 1 stack. Headshot final is 2 stacks. Each stack is plus 5 range, plus 8 stability, and it gives accuracy cone help. Max stack is a lot of accuracy help. Plus 32 stability, plus 20 range. So 80 is the min-max, and 100 range with Rangefinder gets you a little bit more than 100 range, because Rangefinder is a zoom modifier. The most range you can get out of any 140 that is out there. That can't be denied. But my roll gets to 92 range, 100 stability with those stacks up. Of course, the accuracy help. No joke. When you do get that going, it is one of the best feeling weapons in the entire game. You feel the accuracy help. Of course, you feel the 100 stability, the range, total package. Very fun shooting experience, and you are deadly with it. It's one of my all-time, like, all-around favorite weapons, encore rangefinder. And when you look at these 3 rolls, 4 technically with your Falcon repulsor brace, they're designed kind of to do different things. But still, I would put Rangefinder Eye of the Storm at number 1 all around because you can take that thing anywhere, 6v6, 1v1 rumble, trials, comp, does not matter. The Eye of the Storm helping in every duel is massive with high range. But Encore Rangefinder, that can work in 3v3 trials and all that, but it's a super fun 6v6 weapon. Extremely fun. You can make it work anywhere. Same goes for Perfect Float Frenzy. Now with that one, the playstyle, it is situation dependent. It can come up big in trials, comp, whatever it is, depending on how engagements go. There's a lot of peeking and healing. When you get those buffs up, and when that window opens up, you can use it all to your advantage. And when you do, it's amazing. I love all of these rolls. I'm gonna keep them all. I'm gonna change them out. But when I came back to a hand cannon, a lot of things started becoming really clear. Things that I kind of don't like. And again, I'm not saying that hand cannons need to be meta, nothing like that. I'm just saying that after using a ton of different things, disparity when I did that review, all of these different weapons, glaive, scout, pulse, whatever it is. And during that time, I didn't pick a hand cannon up. So a week would go by, 2 weeks, coming back to one, it started becoming so clear that with the game so catered to second chance, and there's no end in sight, right? We have overshields, health, cure, restoration. We have a fragment covering that gives you a free overshield for winning a duel that you should be winning in the first place. It makes me really wonder the selection here of a hand cannon, like a 120 if anything. And even though abilities are getting toned down, they're still going to be there. All the stuff that you're seeing is still going to be there. But in a lot of these cases, like take this clip right here, I think it's perfect. I'm just going to keep replaying it in the background. Again, don't get my words twisted with what I'm showing here. This is looking at it just from a broad scope. Up top, looking down, looking at the situation. The safety play with all the things we have going on, pulse rifles really have outweighed everything they have because I'm in a really respectable range here. I don't 3-tap, I land my shots. Keep in mind, this is not a long map. This is a short map. Keep in mind, engagement distance can be manipulated. You can create long lanes if you stay in them on any map, even Asylum. But this isn't crazy far. I think that we would all agree with that. This is 72 range with Encore ×2, so it's 82 range with Rangefinder. And I want to just say again, really solid range right here. There's a lot of hand cannons that wish they could touch this range. And this thing isn't even at full potential. But with all the stability, like I'm dotting their face up and down. It's a 3-tap, but they don't go down. This isn't taken into account. Say they healed right after this or threw up a shield. I would be really screwed then. But these numbers, 63, 64, low 60s. If I had full bore here, it probably would have 3-tapped. The 64 would have went to 65 or 66. And that's kind of what I don't like. Since I don't 3-tap right here, at a pretty reasonable distance, you are kind of nudged to run max range on everything. And 82 range rangefinder is no joke. This thing is upper tier. It can have more. And the fact that it does need more really starts to narrow a hand cannon roll. So when you look at rolls, rangefinder, adept mods like adept range, they matter. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. They matter so much that they're clearly needed. Because I look at this situation, I question that positioning, movement, map rotation can only go so far with how the game's being played. Because I look at right here, I'm not sure if you can tell me otherwise, aside from getting my hand cannon range to 90, I would have been better off just throwing up a Bastion shield, getting an overshield, using a messenger, or no time. Because the truth is, if and when the game keeps playing like this, when Lightfall comes, even with Strand, like a pulse just wins out. If the healing is going on, the ranges that people are playing is going on, like 90 plus damage, burst damage just wins all the time. If there's a worm husk, whatever it is, and every class could do something like this, the more I play, the more I see, like I am gravitating to high damage, like an aggressive burst or a pulse, just because of all of this. The high damage wins. Simple as that. So even though I do love this hand cannon, most of them are in a really weird spot. I'm still going to use it, especially when the longer maps are kicked back a little bit, but even on the short ones, again, the ranges can be manipulated. SMG range too, because another end of this, once you start getting closer, we have Terabot, Ikelos, other SMGs, they're shredding you. Like Pulse SMG, double primary, is a top 3 combination right now in the Crucible. So I played, very evident that even though this thing feels amazing and it does well, it's an odd feeling that when this is it, like this is the one, this is a 140 that is worth your time. A top overall weapon. You do need things like all range, max range, rangefinder, because if not, why bother? And that's my worry. It is what it is. I'll use a pulse, I'll use other things. I don't care. Like I'll be reviewing probably a sidearm or whatever that comes out with Strand and Lightfall because I use everything. The way that the game's being played, I'm not too sure that the game plays very well the way it's currently being played. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that and also your roles, because I think there are about 3-4 really good ones. It's so stat heavy that if you get killing wind kill clip, that's fine. If you like that, you do you. There's nothing wrong with that. But the upper range band, it's a little bit more thorough through any meta, and in a lot of cases, flat out needed. At least that's my opinion. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button, and if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about Exalted Truth down below. I was very excited to get Rangefinder Encore. I wish that I got more range hit to 80 to hit the cap. Maybe I'll get it later someday, but once it starts getting to 100 stability and all that, it just feels so good. Perfect Float Frenzy, another good one. I love them all. I will be using them. Tell me a little bit about yours. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.